maybe more than 100. They can crank out shit like you couldn't believe. Famous story. Our CFO, Sally, asked to see the books about something. We closed the quarter. I forget what it was. She comes to me and says, we have a problem. What is it? She says, so-and-so said I can't see the books unless the CEO's in the room. And I said, yeah. And so I just started walking towards the guy's office, and she's trying to tell me, explain to me. I don't need to hear it. Sal, just be quiet. I don't need it. And so I walk up to his desk, and you're him. And I said, I just want a yes or a no from you. Did you say that Sally could not see the books? And he starts to explain. Yes or no? Yes. I grab him like this, pull him right over the desk. Remember the beating I showed you that I got? I'm beating him. I drag him up and down the call center aisles. Every fucking call center person, every IT person, every in the whole fucking bit, 400, beating him. Then I drag him over to the left, and no elevator is working in here. They're all broken. Okay, they're all broken. Otherwise, if it had been broken with an open door, I would have thrown him down the elevator shaft. But I didn't. So I picked him up and I threw him down the staircase. Down the staircase. And, of course, this got everybody's attention in the office. And to this day, you can go to Bangalore and the IT about, in those days, I was lifting 280. So it wasn't that a big a deal to pick up some little skinny shit, 115 pounds. You know, I could have thrown him out, you know. And and of course, nothing happened to me. Nothing. The police commission came. Oh, I understand. And he says, well, he's obviously stealing. This is the police telling me. He's obviously stealing, that's why you can't see the books. Yeah, we know. And he says, well, he's not going to steal anymore. And, you know, broke his shoulder, broke his arm. And then we had his uncle, everybody's uncle there. His uncle, who knew the police, this and that, and somehow knew the owner of the fucking building. Somehow. Okay. And so all of a sudden our rent payments get lost and they're going to evict us. And so we're continuing to go to, and we tell all employees to keep going to the office. And we show up for a meeting. We're trying to negotiate a new lease. And so we show up, and my general manager had forgotten the key. We couldn't get in. And so they about 20 or 25 what they call thugs, Indian thugs. I mean, they show up on their little motorcycle. And I had this cricket bat. This cricket bat's seen a lot of action when we were in India. It's fairly tough to get a gun in India. You can, but you go to jail. It's hard to get yourself out of jail when you got a gun. And so they came, and these 20, 25 guys, and I took care of about 8 or 10 of them. And the police came again. And he said, did you intimidate? He didn't say I hit him. Did you intimidate them? Well, that across the head, if that's intimidation, then I guess I did intimidate him. But he didn't, because there's something in Indian law that, I mean, intimidation is legal at some level, but crushing his head is not legal. And so he didn't want to, apparently throw a well-to-do American in jail, especially since there's 25 of them. But just like everything, they're all talking about it. So what did I do? I walked right into the crowd and I hit 4 or 5 of them as quick as I could. They're all talking about it, all dancing around like you do. When you're trying to get laid, you're all talking about, oh, I'm going to get that chick. They're all dancing around. I just walked into the crowd and swung 4 or 5 times. Boom, boom, boom. They went down like bowling pins. And I keep this as a remembrance. From days gone by, the good old days, when you could give them a fucking beat down. They're like all you cunts need. A fucking beat down. I loved India. You could do ugly things and not get in trouble. Now it's all changed. It's gotten civilized. It's got westernized. That was about 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. Now, somebody else had a question. You're going to get thrown out. There's no question about it. What? You're on your way out. You got both feet out the door, and you're already sliding down on your ass. Because the kids, you don't get thrown out normally twice. You get thrown out once, and you learn from it. And you learn that what Dan had to say was true. Right now, see, you don't think it's going to happen to you. The Germans throw them out too. There's not a country in the world that don't, Remember, notwithstanding QLA is a license to steal legally. Not steal, but I mean take advantage of the other side. You will find ways to go back into default. You will find ways that are within your comfort zone. And then again, a lot of you don't really want to build generational wealth. You just think you do because it's vogue. And remember the difference between personal development and personal success. That whole definition is murky. And but when you listen to Andreas today, a couple hours ago, I mean, he's a guy, just a regular guy, regular German guy that's making it work right now. And when you listen to these other guys the rest of the week, you'll see that it is not only doable, but very probable if you follow the steps. And then you saw the smile on his face. I mean, he's enjoying himself, even though he's working like a dog. He said he never worked this hard. He didn't say that today, but in his weekly reports, I mean, he's working like a dog. But you can work like a dog when you're having fun. Then it's not work. It's you're passionate. Like when you're a little kid, America, you play baseball. You can play baseball from the sun comes up to the time the sun goes down. In this country, what they call football, what we call soccer, they can play soccer from the time the sun comes up to the time the sun comes down. In India, the kids can play cricket from the time the sun fucking comes up to the time the sun goes down, because it's not work for them, it's fun. And that's what you must do vis-a-vis the passion that you're going to follow and utilize QLA. And then it is fun, just like what Andrea said. And when we talk to the other guys the rest of the week and you hear the webinars, they're all happy. They're all saying they're working their ass off. They never worked harder, but they're happy. And in that you can continue. You can continue that that high degree of work ethic. But if you find something, it's like a bad relationship, with a significant other. I mean, when you're in love, or lust, I should say, I mean, you're happy as anything, and, fuck them in the car, fuck them in the kitchen, fuck them in the toilet. I mean, I was just having fun every place. And then when the bloom is off the rose, then all of a sudden you don't like the way they part their hair. What the fuck am I doing here, you ask yourself. What the fuck? How do I get rid of this bitch? I mean, like Coyote Ugly. You want to eat your arm off rather than wake her up. Remember, my famous mentee, Dan says what we only dare to think. Coyote Ugly, YouTube. How many of you? And it goes both ways, not just guys. I mean, how can I get my dress on and get out of here without waking him up? Yeah. But any other questions? Who's my 5 o'clock? 6 o'clock? 7 o'clock? Today we have our evening meal in the pavilion. In the pavilion, which is where you have lunch. and the bar is open. You have drinks, etc. And you can wear business casual. That doesn't mean holy jeans and a t-shirt. I don't really know what business casual is. I've heard it, but I know it's. But anyway, so if you want to take your suits off, you can. But we'll eat in there, and then you've got homework tonight. I guess 3 things.
Yeah.
Four things. And we'll go over those first thing in the morning. And the weather has been, this is a miracle. Because the weather's not like this many days. It could snow tonight, though. You never know. But it's kind of like Chicago or some of the other places in the world. But the weather, if the weather was like this, there'd be more than 5 million people in Scotland. When I came to Scotland 35 years ago, there was 5 million people. There's 5 million people today. Okay? Smart people leave Scotland, like Andrew Carnegie did. That's a little bit of a stretch. There's still a lot of smart people here. But if the weather was like this, it would be 50 million people instead of 5 million. Because the weather can get pretty miserable. But this is the beginning. If there's going to be a good season, this is the beginning of it. But summer is normally July or August. Not both. July or August. But right now. Okay. If there's no other questions, good night, YouTube. We'll see you in the morning.